My name is Ben Azulai, known as King Azulai.
No, I'm drifting, catch you slipping, won't be back again.
You know what we want in life, we go out there and we get it.
Roll the riches, lot of fishes, so we throwing it. Hiding, shipping, magic, and yeah, we back again.
What's going on, everybody at home? Today I brought for you guys a young 22-year-old man that has a lot of questions that we both believe that many people at home at the ages between 20 and even younger to the ages of 35 would probably want to know. He came here. This guy is absolutely crazy. I gotta tell you, this guy impresses me so much. But let me tell you how he impressed me the first time. He came all the way from Israel, told his buddies he's going to work with King Azulai. He didn't know me, not personally, but he saw me on social media about a year and a half ago. When he told all of his friends and his family he's going to move to the US and go work with King, everybody laughed at him. They told him, "What, are you crazy? Have you talked to him yet?" And be sure, this guy lied to them and said, "Yes, I did. I've been talking to him for a month now, and he said I should come out here and work for him." I didn't know the guy, but he told them so they won't tell him that's never going to happen. But you know what? They still told him. How do you even trust him to go all the way to the US, leave such an amazing job and position that you have? This guy is a genius in marketing. This guy does all the marketing for me today. But he came from Israel and he was running a marketing company. And they were doing huge campaigns for influencers, for businesses. And he knew no matter what, he was going to persevere. He was going to continue. He was going to show up at my front door. And he was going to make it with me. I didn't know the guy. I thought it was absolutely crazy when he reached out and said, "Listen, I came to the US just to meet you. I'm here, I'm in Portland, but I want to meet you. I know you're somewhere in the US. I don't know where you're at, but I'll come anywhere that you're at." I told him I'm in LA, and since then, this was history. We've been working together for a few months now. How long has it been?
7 months now?
7?
Yep.
7 months now. We've been working together and we're taking this to the next level. But I wanted to bring him in because I know that this guy right here, every single question that he ever asked me has a very strong meaning to it and helps a lot of the young men out there, because when he asks me these questions and I give him an answer, he goes, "You got to put that on social media. You got to tell the people." So guys, I want to welcome in Itai, all the way from Israel.
Thank you for having me on, brother.
Part of the King brand.
Thank you for having me on.
Welcome.
Such a pleasure being here. I'm gonna jump right into it, okay?
Okay.
We're gonna start with question 1. So, I already got to a substantial income before meeting you, but I don't know how to leverage that. I still feel behind and can't get the proper edge. How do you actually separate yourself from the crowd? Let's say you get the income that you want. You got to 10K a month. You got to the 8K a month. How do you actually separate yourself from the rest of the people? Mm-hmm. Most people seem like they're still in a rat race. They can't find a purpose. They can't find that cutting edge. What would you say to that people?
Well, I believe that money is just a tool. So it doesn't matter how much money you make. At the end of the day, if you're not happy, then money really doesn't matter. You can make 10 grand a month. You can make $1 million a month. But if you're waking up in the morning to a job that you absolutely hate, or maybe to a life that you hate, then you're not living. And you're giving up something that is you can't get anything better than that, which is your time. If your time is not being spent wise, money truly doesn't matter. So if you're going after a job and you're chasing a job, you're chasing something that you don't like, which means you hate your life. So if you want to achieve anything in life, first of all, achieve something that you love doing. It's not about the money. You have to put money aside. And this is one thing that I tell all young men. If you love what you do, you're not working a day in your life. So there is people who make a lot of money and are completely miserable. And I know a lot of them. Some of them don't make 10 grand a month. Some of them make $1 million a month and they hate life. Why? Because they wake up in the morning, get ready for a job that they hate or even a business that they hate. Why? Because there's no passion. Also, there's no purpose. You have to find your purpose in life.
How do you find your purpose?
The most important conversation I've ever had was with myself. Not with anybody else. People ask other people. You have to understand that all the answers are within us. When you speak to yourself, at some point in time, God will answer. And when God answers, He'll tell you why you're here. You're here on a mission. Everybody that's in this world, why are they here?
That's a good question. It seems like most people, nowadays especially, they don't even believe in God.
Right.
Have you always believed in God?
I don't believe in God. Let me ask you, do you believe in God?
So I used to not believe in God until I started seeing all of the great things he had in store for me.
Okay, and do you believe in him now?
I am.
You do?
I do.
You believe in God?
I do.
Do you believe your parents are your parents, or do you know they're your parents?
I know that they're my parents.
Do you know that believe is a word of doubt? You're not sure of yourself.
Right? In order to believe, there must be doubt.
Do you have a brother or sister?
I do have a brother.
Do you believe is your brother? Do you know he's your brother?
I know he's my brother.
Exactly. You need to know God exists. Everything in this world is too coincidental for it just to happen on its own. Everything is meant to be here. The plants, they release photosynthesis in the morning, right? Oxygen.
Yep.
You have photosynthesis in the morning.
Yes.
The release of oxygen from the sun hitting the plants. Our world, our planet, when you walk barefoot, it's an electromagnetic field. Right? There's the moon, there's the sun, there's night, there's day.
So what I'm getting from you is that everything was made by him.
Correct.
And just as we did. So our plan is also made by him. And we're just following it, right?
Yes, of course. Do you know that in every man there is God? In every man there is a God.
How come?
I'll tell you. When God created man, he created him out of himself. When God created the woman, he created the woman out of the man's rib. Right?
Yep.
When God wanted to create fish, he spoke to the sea. When God wanted to create trees, he spoke to the land. When God wanted to create humans, he spoke to himself. But let me ask you.
Oh, that's tough.
Let me ask you something. You take a fish out of the water, what happens to it?
It dies.
You take a tree out of soil, what happens to it?
It dies.
You take God out of us, what happens to us?
We die.
We perish. That is something that the young generation don't understand.
That's true.
We have God inside of us. Without God, we have no purpose. But before you came to this life, God whispered in your ear. And he said, son, I'm sending you down there, and I'm sending you down there for a reason. Here is a mission. Do not forget your mission. And people forget their mission. They came here, and for some reason, when they got here, their mission got distracted by a job. It got distracted by a job because the people at the top, they don't want you to follow your dreams. They want you to follow them.
Okay.
But your mission is your dream that you have.
And what if I don't have that mission? What if I feel lost? What if I don't
have a
feel
dream?
like I have like that dream that you're speaking about?
You have a dream?
I do have a dream.
What is your dream?
My dream is to influence millions of people
Is
across
that what you're doing now?
Yes.
Then you're following your path.
Yes, but for the people who do not do that,
Right.
because I know I have a lot of friends, you probably have a lot of friends who they do not feel like they're actually following a dream just because they don't even know what it is. How do you find that kind of sense of being by God, that purpose?
See that phone? The back of the iPhone. The back of the iPhone, what does it have?
A logo,
What is the logo?
brand,
What's the brand?
Apple.
It's an apple, right? Does it have a bite mark on it?
It does.
What is that?
Means that Eve ate from it.
Yes, it's a forbidden fruit. You see, that's the portal to hell. Your computer is the portal to hell. You guys, the young people, have been connected to machines, which now are being replaced by machines. But you guys also act like a machine. You guys are having a very hard time even speaking to people. Communication skills. Not you personally, because I know you. You're very good at it.
I've practiced, which is something we'll get to later on.
Many of the young men don't want to practice. They're like an iPhone. They fall and they break. Exactly like the iPhone. This right here is the portal to hell. This too. They're paying attention to these things instead of what their dream is. You want to know what your dream is? Go isolate yourself from the world. Step away from the world. God, the creator of all, created men. And in men, he created creativity. When we lack with our creativity because we are distracted by this, we end up dying. Because if you're not creating, you're dying as a man.
Yeah, absolutely.
If a woman isn't creating a family, she's also dying. I have women who I coach that are 40, 50, 60 years old. They come back home, they have a Louis bag, they have a Mercedes, they have a $2, $3, $4 million home, and nobody to come home to. Nobody to be happy for their success.
So are you suggesting that part of being a woman is actually raising a good family, raising good children?
You must. You must. Everything created in this world, created by a man, not by a woman. You know why?
Why?
Because the woman could create something that a man couldn't, which is a baby, which is the highest form of creation.
Yep.
So for her, having a child is way more satisfying than a man building a house or creating a phone or building a car.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
That's why women have to stay traditional and have families, and men have to create or else they're dying. The biggest problem is in our generation, your generation, sorry, not my generation. My generation, I still got my ass kicked. Your generation, if you hit your kid, what did they do? I'm going to call social services, Dad. I'm going to call the police, right? My dad used to tell me, before the police will get here, you'll already be dead. Do you want to hold up the phone?
No, sir.
No.
No way.
You want to tell your teacher? Because when you come back home, you're dead. And after I kill you, I'll have one more. And I'll also tell him how stupid the last one was because he got killed. And that was my dad.
Okay, and so you're saying traditional women. In this day and age, it seems quite hard to actually find one.
Correct.
How do you create such a relationship, such a dynamic with the traditional women in nowadays? How do you even get such a woman?
You know, there's a quote. Men, right? They create easy time. But that is strong men. Strong men, when they create easy time, they create weak men. Weak men create hard times. Hard times create strong men. We now have weak men. They created a hard time.
Absolutely.
This hard time will make strong men.
Yep.
So the next generation will be strong men. Which is fine. Because all these women that right now are between 25 to 35 that don't want to get married, you know what? Every day there's a new 18-year-old back on the market coming to find a good man. The next generation of girls that are today teenagers are seeing what these women are suffering from. Then they come in and they're taking all the good men.
How would you say that you become a man that attracts these good women?
A man needs to focus on himself. If you focus on yourself, you will attract everybody. In order to attract, you have to become attractive. A king doesn't become a king by chasing the queen. A king becomes a king by chasing the crown. You chase the crown and the queen will follow.
Yep.
The king is the most important piece on the board.
Right.
You have a chess game. The queen could die. But if the king died, game is over. We're meant to lead. The way you attract the best women is by isolating yourself away from the world. Making yourself so attractive and so hard to get in contact with that every single woman wants you. If I go into a gym right now and hit on every single girl, I'm no longer wanted by all these girls. But if I went into the gym, I'm extremely fit. I pulled up in a Rolls Royce. I left the gym. I come back. I don't speak to anybody. I don't look at anybody. Get my work done. Go back into my Rolls Royce. Everybody wonders who I am.
Yeah.
You have to keep it a little bit mysterious. But if you're out there telling everybody your business, and you're out there telling everybody who you are and what you do, and you hit on every single girl that passes by, you know what happens? Women talk. Women speak, and they realize you're just trying to play everybody. But if you stay quiet, now all the women want you. But you got to get to work. You got to look your best. You got to feel your best. You got to work on yourself. Work on yourself harder than you work on your job. And eventually you will make much more in whatever job you're going to work in.
So that brings another question. Seems like most men nowadays, it's not that they run up to every girl that comes around. It's that they're too scared to even hit up on a girl. How do you even overcome that fear? Seems like social media, these devices that are portals to hell, seems like they've pretty much ruined our social interactions. And most people actually lack the confidence to even hit up a girl to begin with. How do you even overcome that fear? Like, we actually have that problem nowadays. People are too afraid to come up to a girl and hit her up and create an interaction, and they feel frustrated with it. How do you overcome that?
Do you know how many millionaires there are in the US?
No.
20 million millionaires. People got to work.
Yeah.
Do you know how many men and women in total have visible abs? Not the same abs that I do, but just visible.
I have no idea.
Less than 80,000. Get your abs. I promise you'll get that girl.
Okay.
Stop being overweight. Stop sitting at home not using your bodies. Stop disconnecting yourself from nature. And next thing, challenge yourself. Become the best version that you could be. While you're becoming that best version, start talking to women. Go to the ugliest women and talk to them. Get their number. As you become better and better, you'll be like, I could level up. You spoke to a 2 and a 3. You got their numbers. You're good. Don't do anything with them. All right?
Trust me, I won't.
Yes. Build up that character. Build up the character that knows how to talk to women.
Okay.
Right? Because a woman is a woman. It doesn't matter if she's a 2 or a 3. It's not like talking to the boys, right?
Yep. Makes sense.
Me, I could walk up to anybody and speak to them. But I practice. Speak to 10 girls that are 2 or 3. Got 5 phone numbers? As long as they're all single? 5 numbers? That's amazing. Step it up. Go up to a 4. Now go to all the 4s that you don't believe that they're that attractive. You'll gain confidence. Then go up to the 5s and the 6s.
Okay.
You'll get that. It'll make you work even harder on yourself. You'll get that 6-pack way quicker than you would have gotten it without speaking to women.
Yeah.
That's going to push you as you're challenging yourself. Then start walking up to 7s and 8s.
Okay.
7s and 8s, you get a number, now you can get any number.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you what, the ones that are 9s and the 10s, they're actually easier to get their number than the ones that are 3 and the 4.
Because nobody reaches out to them.
Exactly. Everybody's afraid to speak to them. So when I come up to them, they think I'm just playing around with them. So they're like, I have a boyfriend. I go, no, you don't. No, you don't. Don't lie to me. I know you don't have a boyfriend. You're just upset that nobody comes to talk to you. And you look at me and you're thinking, why would I ever talk to you? Which the truth is, you don't even know your value. Your value is with somebody like me.
So are you suggesting that most of the value of the woman come from their beauty and most of the beauty of the men comes from their value?
A woman's power is her beauty. And a man's beauty is his power. The more powerful a man becomes, the more beautiful he becomes. The more beautiful a woman is, the more power she has. When you see a man that's 60, 70 years old and has a yacht. Not a regular yacht. Serious yacht, you know? $50 million. Serious yacht. He's got 18, 19, 20-year-old girls on that yacht. Beautiful. How did she get on the yacht?
She got invited.
Exactly. She has the power within her beauty to get invited to be on a yacht that poor man has worked 50 years to buy. And he spends a shit ton of money to just keep up that yacht and maintain the yacht.
Yep.
Why is she going with a 60-year-old man on a yacht?
Why?
Because his power is his beauty. You understand?
Yep. So I want to bring you back to power and value. A lot of people can't seem to actually find a way to increase their value. And when we speak about value, money and wealth is the first things that come to mind.
With men?
With men.
Yeah.
You became a millionaire by 21, right?
Correct.
Obviously, most people don't even become millionaires in their entire lifetime.
Correct.
What do you think that you did different in order to actually achieve this and by such a young age?
I believed in myself. I believed that I was a God. Not because I believed in God, because I knew God existed. I've died multiple times before the age of 21. So for me, all of that was given free. It was all free life. So if I already died, I'm practically dead. Now I have the ability to do anything I want. Not to forget to mention that I was in jail, in a cell. Not once, not twice. 8 different times.
How do you even overcome that, being in jail? Like, most people don't even endure hitting their pinky on the side of the couch. You've went to jail multiple times. How do you do that and then come back to
jail
thrive?
multiple times. I've been stabbed multiple times. I've had my finger almost cut off completely. I've been through it all. But because I've been through it all, I figured I could do it all. And I'm not the kind of guy that will sit around and say, he's better than me. No, I'm the kind of guy that sits around and says, I'm the one and only. I'm not one in a million or one of a million. I'm the one and only. Imagine right now, and people don't think about it, how many Thais are there in the world?
Millions, I guess. Well, hundreds of thousands.
How many Thai? A Thai.
Just one.
Exactly. Your voice, your physique, your look, your age, all together, there's only one Itai. If there was one Lambo, how much would it be worth?
Too much to count.
And that's what? That's a piece of metal?
Yeah.
Okay. You're human. How much are you worth if there's only one like you?
Can't even put a number on it.
Exactly. It's priceless. But if you truly believe that, then you would hold value in yourself, because everybody don't believe that. So when you believe it, you have to be delusional. And you have to believe that delusion. You have to be crazy. You have to get to the point that people are laughing at your dreams.
How do you get to that point?
When you go through jail, when you get beat, when you get stabbed, when your father throws you out of the house and you're homeless, and you went over that, you passed it, there's nothing you can't do. There is nothing you can't do. When I was in jail, I realized I know how to communicate with humans better than I ever thought. I thought everybody hated me when they looked at me, because my dad used to look at me in a certain way. So I thought everybody hates me. When I went into jail, I realized I'm such a good communicator. I was getting all the black guys who were with me, right? Because I went with others because I'm Israeli.
Yep.
So I couldn't go with any of the white guys because they're like Aryan Brotherhood and all these people. So I couldn't go with them. So the blacks took me in. The blacks were doing Shabbat dinners with me. We were bringing in the rabbi and we were doing Shabbat dinners. I was teaching them. They went to become Muslims. I turned them Jewish. I said, how do I even have that ability? I'm 18 years old. I'm 18 years old, but so much power in me. I came to get a tattoo in jail. One of my buddies told me, listen, he was my cellie. He said, you're not coming back here. He was 48 years old. He said, you're not coming back here. You're leaving and you're never coming back. And I said, what do you want? What do you mean? They have me here for murder. He said, no, 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 no. You're going to be out because you didn't do it. You didn't do it, and you're leaving. And I looked at him and I said, okay, I'm not going to get that tattoo. And it was the 3 dots. You know what that means?
Yep.
Mi vida loca, my crazy life. I thought I was going to be a gangster for the rest of my life. When I came out, I realized if I take my willpower, because I was in the hole for 2 weeks, that's when I went kind of cuckoo. But that's when I conquered myself. And I went hero mode. I isolated myself out of the world. In those 2 weeks, I didn't speak to anyone. I didn't see a person. Food was given to me from under the door. I didn't eat for the first 3 or 4 days. Lights were on all the time. I didn't know if it was day or night. My hours were all messed up and I didn't know if I was ever coming out of there.
That must have been tough. Would
Yeah,
you say that in order to actually gain respect in today's world, a man has to suffer, to go through some hardships?
The only reason I'm the way that I am. Look at me. What kind of eyes do I have?
Brown? Crazy?
Eyes of? Eyes of a what?
Of somebody who's very determined, I must say.
Very determined. I'll take out anybody that thinks he's going to move me from what I want to do. And I'm telling this to you with passion in my heart,
Absolutely.
with fire in my soul.
Yep.
What I could achieve is way bigger than what other people could achieve because I believe in myself and I know that God exists. Because if God didn't exist, I would not be here and I wouldn't be able to pass the things I went through.
Yep.
When you hit the gym, if you hit the gym and lifted the same weight all the time, would you grow?
No.
When do you grow?
When you put more stress, when you put more stress on your muscles, when you put yourself to the test, this is when you grow.
Growth is adaptation to stress. Same with your mind, same with your muscles, and same with your spirit. Do you think Donald Trump feels stressed the way you do, or he feels stressed way more than you do?
I'd guess he goes through more stress, yeah.
He goes through more stress, but it's the same stress, it's the same exact feeling. If right now something bad happened to you, that same stress that you have is the same stress he feels from somebody trying to kill him. The man who takes on him more stress will eventually unlock a gene. There's genes in the brain that will unlock from the more stress you go through and the more stress you take on yourself. That when you unlock that gene, now you can take more on yourself. Right?
Yep.
There's entrepreneurs and solopreneurs, right? So the entrepreneur has many businesses.
Right.
The solo has one business. Why does he have one business and this guy have many businesses?
Tolerance to stress.
Exactly. He took on himself more and then more and more. And now he can go through more stress. The more stress you put on yourself, the more you'll be able to handle. If you do it long enough, it no longer is stress. It just becomes the normal day routine. When I hit the gym for 2 hours a day, it's just the gym.
Yeah.
There is no issues going to the gym,
Right?
right? I'm having a good time going to the gym, even though I feel the pain. But I've been through the pain. So what? Pain is weakness leaving the body.
Right?
That's all it is.
Right?
So why not go through it?
Yep. Would you say that people today, more than ever, take way less stress than people used to do in the past, are less capable of taking stress like they used to do in the past? Would you say we're at all-time low?
Yes.
Why is that? What do you think?
The world has truly become soft. Everything is easy. Do you remember back in the day when you used to go hunting? No, right?
No.
It was so far long ago. You don't remember that because times have changed.
Yep.
You want to get a meal, you go to the store,
Right.
you go to a restaurant,
Or DoorDash,
or DoorDash,
which is even worse.
or Uber Eats,
Which is even worse.
right?
Yep.
So imagine you don't even have to go anywhere to get food, which means also walking outside and getting in your car and getting out of your car and going to get food and getting back in your car and driving home and then getting out of your car and cooking your food where you would at least do some activity.
Right.
Now you're doing no activity. It's right at your front door.
Yep. Yep.
More activity gone away from you. You don't do shit.
Right.
Food is at the door. What happens with all these guys that are eating a bunch of junk food?
They get fat, they get
And
lethargic
lazy.
and lazy. They can't
Don't
do
wanna
shit.
do anything.
Right.
Testosterone levels drop. If you don't have test, what happens?
You don't want to do shit. You don't have drive. You don't have motivation.
Exactly.
You don't have a reason to live. Yep.
So that's a big issue. If people will start using their bodies more, they'll realize that they're much happier. For example, wake up in the morning, take a freezing cold shower. After that, go for a run. Come back home, cook your meal, eat your meal, get some work done, go to the gym for an hour, come back home. After that, spend some more time working. Finish your day off take a little walk in the park, barefoot, on the grass. Watch how much better your life is going to get.
Yep. I've been walking with you for a while, and I know you're one of the hardest walking people I know, and you're also one of the happiest people I know. You have more energy than anybody I know, and it seems to be connected. It seems to be connected. You're walking 24 hours a day. How do you even do that? How do you even get to the stage where you can walk so many hours, still keep a smile on your face,
Because
right?
I'm happy. I'm happy. And for example, people think that smiling means you're happy or frowning means you're sad. I actually don't believe that feelings exist.
Okay,
So I could keep a straight face and still be super happy.
right.
Sometimes my girl will ask me, why are you mad? And I said, no, I'm so happy. And she goes, well, you don't seem happy. And I said, feelings aren't real. Feelings are just a reaction to a perceived wound that hasn't been healed since you were a child. That's what you're feeling. It's just a reaction to something that happened when you were a child. So if you had happy times, you associate it with happy times. You smile. But you're smiling because it's in your subconscious mind because your mom smiled when something happened, so now you're smiling. It's just a reaction. But I don't necessarily have to smile in order for me to be happy. I could just sit like this. And I'm the happiest man on the planet. And people will ask, well, why don't you smile? So just out of being nice, I started smiling to people. Because they think that this means I'm happy.
So you won't be scary too much.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I've also smiled before when I was standing right above a person. I smiled. It was a great feeling to finally get him, you know?
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, before we get too deep into that, so throughout your life, you've had multiple businesses in various industries. For someone who isn't a millionaire yet, how would you approach that? Do you believe in doing multiple things at the same time?
No. Stick to one thing. When I was younger, I played basketball. I played soccer. I played the guitar. I was fighting. I was doing gymnastics. I was doing parkour. I did everything. I never became the best at anything until I went towards one thing only.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of friends and I know a lot of people who indulge in multiple things at once. One time I'm trading, one time it's drop shipping, one time I'm opening a construction business. Everybody seems to all over the place.
That's just like a girl that's dated 10 guys in 1 year.
Okay,
It's the same thing.
no commitment.
No. There's no commitment. They want to see instant gratifications. Again, I did all those things because I loved all of them. I truly enjoyed fighting. I enjoyed bodybuilding. I enjoyed gymnastics. I enjoyed all of those things. Playing basketball, playing soccer. You name it, I enjoy it. But if you want to dominate, you have to go towards one thing. Because also in sports, if you understand, your muscles act differently in a different sport.
Right.
For example, take Michael Jordan. He was the best basketball player, but when he went to play baseball, he sucked. But that was his dream, was to play baseball, not to play basketball. But after that, he went back to basketball because he sucked at baseball.
Right.
But you say, how could that be? It's a ball, this is a ball, right? He's an athlete. Well, the muscles, they're used to doing different activities. So if they're playing now basketball, it's a different muscle that he's practiced for many, many years.
Right.
Baseball is different. That's all. So the same with business. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, day one, it's never going to work. Oh, what do? So I'm trading a little bit and I got an e-commerce store. And also, I'm into real estate. I've been thinking about buying my second property now. I'm really digging into that. And truly, I want to open up a service company. So matter of fact, I just opened the LLC and I'm doing it out of Delaware. So that way I'm protected over there. And by the way, I truly want to run an Airbnb business, but I'm trying to do it in Spain because I heard that they're... Stop. Are you a millionaire? No, not yet, but I'm on my way there. Stop. Win in one game. Be the best in it. Then you can move to a second game.
So bottom line is, all of these people who indulge in all of these things, they need to drop everything, focus on one.
Focus on one if it's going to be your own business. When I became a big investor, I didn't need to focus on one. I was an entrepreneur, but truly I was a VC. I was a venture capitalist. I put my money here. I make sure this company is making money. I run the company? No. Do I oversee the company? Sometimes. But you have to trust. You have to do your homework before. This company is doing well. Great. Let me put 200K in there. Make some money every month. Let me put $500,000 here. Make some money every month. Make profit here, profit there. I had 16 companies. But now when I went onto social media and said, hey, I want to do social media, I went one line. Straight. You go straight, you'll get the farthest. If you're going to start wiggling around, zigzagging, you're not going to get that far. Did I have roadblocks? Yes. Did they shut down my accounts when I spoke about certain things? Yes. Did so many people hate me? Yes. Yes.
We love these haters.
We love it.
They hate us because they ain't us.
Exactly. And they ain't us and they didn't make us, so they can't break us.
In fact, I don't think I've ever seen a hater that's doing better
Than me.
What do you have to say to all of these people who are afraid of what people would think about them? They're afraid of people hating them. Maybe they already got some hate. It stopped them from actually doing what they want to do. What would you say to these people? You have so many haters. None of them do better. Thank God.
So 100% of my students in Fearless, they came because of that reason. Fear of what might people think about them. Fighters, before they're fighters, they're afraid to get in the ring just because they don't want to lose the fight, not because they're afraid of getting hit. No man is afraid of getting hit, but a man is afraid of losing. Losing is very hard for them. But let me tell you, you're not a real man if you think, what if? Because what if never went to the arena? What if never showed up? That's not a man. A man comes to the arena, loses. That's fine. You're going to be a loser sometime before you'll be a winner. But once you're a winner, after having all these losses, there is so much gratitude in that. It's so much deeper.
Right.
Imagine somebody winning the lottery. He didn't make that money. He didn't work for it. That's why 75% of them lose their money the first year and go bankrupt. How? How? You just won $100 million. How? Because you also need to know how to hold that $100 million. So it's very important for people to understand. The fact that you lose, it's actually not a loss, it's just a lesson.
Right?
When people laugh at you, it's okay. They can only laugh at you so much until you win. And then they'll tell you they believed in you and always saw your true potential and believed that you were going to win. People change up. But what's sad to me is that people don't understand. And if they would understand how quick people forget about the dead, they wouldn't give two shits about what other people think.
Right. Right.
Right?
Yeah. So what I'm getting from this is people actually don't lose enough. You need to stack up some losses so you know what it feels like even. So you understand what winning is.
You must.
Right?
You must. Go lose. Not in the casino. But go lose. Go fight. Not on the streets. But go fight. Go to a boxing ring. Start boxing. Then maybe get into some kickboxing. Some Muay Thai. Feel that tough love. They're not going to kill you there. Just going to give you tough love. First day you're in, you kind of feel bad about it. Second day, maybe again. A week, 2 weeks later, now you're part of the group.
Right. Right.
A month in, different person. Why? Because as boys, we need to push each other. You must push each other. But today you have a kid that is a little bit too active. Oh, he's got ADD. He's got ADD. Let's put him on medication.
Let's give him pills.
Let's give him
The
those
solution.
pills. Yes.
So if we're talking about pills, we have another big thing here, which is depression. It seems like the answer for that, which is it's very common nowadays for people to have depression and supplement that with pills. What do you think about that?
If I was overweight, if I wasn't feeling my best, if I was lazy, and if I was not winning, I guess the feeling I would feel would be depressed. But if I'm working every single day and growing daily, bigger than yesterday, smaller than tomorrow, why the hell would I be depressed? We talked about this earlier. I said feelings aren't real. The world and society has gotten weak. And when it gotten weak, it also came up with new terminology. Words like depression, suppress, put down, narcissist, egotistic, egocentric. So many different words were put out there into the subconscious mind of the men. Why? Because it's easy to shut you down with a pill. Those pills are the reason you're depressed. But before those pills, that's the food. Eat a steak every single day, every single meal. Drink a shit ton of water. Don't drink all the shit that they give you. Drink a lot of water. Eat a steak. Good salt. Go for a run every single day. Get a runner's high. Take cold showers. Work out. Get fit. Lose body fat. Let me see you be depressed.
Of course they're depressed. They're not doing any of this.
Exactly. They are not connecting to nature. We were created back in the day to be able to move. Listen, men have a utilitarian meat suit meant for strength and speed. If I put you right now in bed for 6 months and then get you out of bed, your muscles aren't going to work. You're not going to be able to hold your skeleton. Men and humans as a whole, we die under comfort. We thrive under pressure. You're not going to get anything except arthritis sitting on your computer all day and on your phone. You're going to get overweight, you're going to get arthritis in your hands, and that's what you're going to get. And yes, if you were trading and now you've made $10,000, $20,000 a month, for what? To give up your life? To give up your health? Take all of my money away. One thing is, don't take my fitness away. My fitness is my life. And then people back home are going to say, well, but you're smoking cigars. Nicotine raises your testosterone levels. They'll hide it from you on Google, but all research shows it raises your testosterone levels. I didn't believe it until I did my own research. Then I started smoking cigars. So you don't inhale the smoke, so it doesn't really kill you. It's not like cigarettes. And it raises your testosterone levels. So people said I was on steroids. I did tests to show some of the people, because actually there was a guy who paid to see results. I got the results just for him. Just for him. But he paid me. And I said, if anybody wants to claim me taking steroids, go ahead, send me a message. I'll do the tests. I'll get you the results. And you can come actually to the test with me. But pay for it. Not just for the test, also for my time. And I'll prove it. Pay me enough, we'll just show it to the whole world. Why not? But if you're not paying me enough, I'll just keep taking money from each one of them.
Greatest business model.
Yes. We want to know that you're not on testosterone, that you're not on steroids, you're not on all this, guys. Good food, good sleep, good workouts, good runs, good cigars, good ice bath. That's how you get it. And I lay out naked in the sun. Another good strategy for building testosterone.
Tutorial coming soon.
Tutorial coming soon, yes.
So
I have case studies.
So your energy levels, your discipline, all of these helped you to do over 9 figures in gross revenue for your businesses, right?
Yes.
What do you think a proper investment portfolio needs to look like to actually get to that level?
So this is an interesting question, because I never looked at the numbers until later on, right? Everybody's thinking about the numbers. They're not thinking where to start. They're thinking about the end goal. I want to be a billionaire. Okay, where are you now? Well, I haven't started my first company yet. Okay, do you want to start your first company? Yes, but I don't have any money. Okay, then go get money. Well, I don't know how to get it. Okay, what are you doing? Well, I don't do anything. I'm jobless. So I think people need to start, and as they start, it will just grow on its own. And they'll be more driven to do bigger things. So for example, when I started, I just started working for a guy, and I told him, don't pay me. After a month or two, I came and I said, well, what do you think I should be doing here? But I did so much of the business that he had no choice but to either make me a partner or pay me for like 7 positions. So he made me a partner. And from there, right away, I was a young millionaire and never had a job. Never had a job, but I was a young millionaire. And also at the time, I was on probation. And I wasn't even supposed to work. And I still worked. And everything was under the table. But I still worked. And I didn't give a damn. Because I knew that whatever they said I didn't do. And then when I came out, they put me on probation for no reason. But I said, you know what? I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not harming anybody. I'm just going to work. That was it. So I worked for the guy. And then I ended up being his partner. And then from there, things started moving. When you start getting money in, you start thinking, well, where can I invest it? But if you're the guy who, before he even gets his money, already spends it on a credit card, you're always going to lose. You have to think, how now do I live in a way that I could save at least half of my paycheck? If half of my paycheck I could save, I'll be good. And this is actually the model that I had. Let's say you have $10. $3 out of that would be for my spending per month. $1 of it would be for me giving it to charity. Another $1 would be for investment. And $5 was to keep at home, just in case of an emergency. That was my model. And it's still my model until today. This is a model that everybody could win. Once you have enough money from the half of the paycheck that you put aside, now you could take it and invest it. But then you need to start saving again. Always have something just in case. Just in case. I call it keeping white money for dark days. Just in case. So I'll never go homeless again. And maybe it's because I was homeless.
Could be.
It could be. But that was my model. I spend 30 grand a month if I made 100,000. Then 10 grand a month I gave to charity. 10 grand I invested somewhere that would give me money. And 50 grand I would put aside. I'll figure out what I want to do with it later. After a couple of months, 100K, put a down payment on a house. But very quickly, I would make even more than 100K per month because now that 100K is gone. My savings are gone. I'm broke. I got to make money quick.
Get in that mindset.
You get in the mindset. I tell people, don't eat the whole day if you're not trying to be a top bodybuilder. When you're hungry, you make moves. You go hunt. When you're not hungry, what happens? You get lethargic, you're calm, you relax. Look at the lion. Lion sleeps 20 to 21 hours a day. He fucks 50 to 70 times a day. Who hunts for him? The lioness. He's relaxing. He's sleeping all the day. 20 hours, 21 hours, he's sleeping. Do you want to be like that? Or do you want to be a hungry lion? A hungry lion doesn't sleep. A hungry lion will travel anywhere he needs to eat. He will hunt. But when you have other people hunting for you, like the government giving people money, don't work, it's okay. Here's money for you. Plus you're living at your parents' house. Plus you're overweight, you're on some disability. Boom, 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 what happens?
You become dependent.
Yep.
Become lazy.
And we become a dying society.
Right.
Dying. Go fight with Russia now. If we had to fist fight them, we're dead. We're dead. Who's going to fight them? All these wussies, they're going to fight them? They're going to battle? No. We're a dying society. We have to become stronger. We have to become tougher. The only way is to challenge ourselves.
So, how long have you been a business owner for?
It's been 14, a little bit over 14 years.
And over these 14 years, what was the greatest lesson that you've learned about entrepreneurship?
Oh, so many of them.
Just one. You need to pick one lesson that took you through these entire 14 years.
To be honest with you, the best lesson that I've ever learned was even if somebody steals from you, but they're your best men and they do the same work as 5 or 6 other men, but they're stealing from you some money, put your ego down. Let them steal. And that goes back to one of my sales guys. He used to be the top salesman. The guy would steal about 50K every month. But he brought in as much money as 5, 6 sales guys. I let him steal for years. For like 3 years. I let him steal from me. And I knew how much he was stealing. And I let it slide. I put my ego aside. And I made a shit ton of money. It is what it is. Some people like to live on the edge. Just let it be. If he's still doing better for you than others, I let it be. At the end, I held some money for him because I knew we were going to close down the company. I was getting rid of it. I was going
Always
on my
one step
ventures.
ahead. Always stay one step ahead.
Yes. Saved some money, held it, told him I need it, wait a little bit more time, took a little bit more time here, a little bit more time there. Eventually kept the money and told him that he was stealing all these years. So he asked me, he said, why didn't you ever tell me? Why didn't you ever confront me? I told him, you think I'm going to let go of you? You're the best guy I've ever had. So you have a sickness, but it's okay. You still made me more money than the rest of the guys. Don't let your ego in the way.
Right? Arrogance. Arrogance is what most people fail.
And you need ego to succeed as a man. A man is built, his success is built through ego. You have to have ego to succeed. The ones that don't have ego are the ones that are not successful. But if you have ego, you will succeed. But at some point in time, you have to know when to fight the battle and when to just walk away. I walked away. I moved my ego aside. Did I want to kill him? Yes. But I moved my ego aside.
Awesome. Awesome.
So that's actually the biggest lesson I've learned by being an entrepreneur. Because you can't be everywhere at the same time. And you have to trust people. You're expanding. If you want to stay the business, be in the business 24/7, micromanage everybody, that's completely fine. But you want to expand, you want to grow, you're going to have to put some trust and faith into some people. And also believe and trust that everything is borrowed to you. God lended it to you. If it's not mine, it's not mine. He stole it? Okay. Maybe he needs it for medication. It's not mine anyways then. What's mine is mine. We all get what's coming to us.
Right.
Good or bad.
Right. Do you believe that anybody, no matter where they are exactly where they deserve to be?
Of course. Of course, you are where you're at because you deserve to be there. Why were you so determined to come work with me?
Because I wanted to have a greater influence, wanted to do great things, big projects.
Why did you even believe that I would answer you?
Because I knew that with enough value, the value that I had, I can reach out, I can do great stuff. So I had that self-belief, that conviction.
But I get 2,000 messages per day. Why would I see your message? You didn't have my phone number.
I would say it's about persistence. We've spoken multiple times. I've reached out. I've proved myself valuable in a way. I gave some value.
You believed that nobody could replace you. That's what you believed. So you knew that if anyone has your job with me, you would most likely replace them. And all you needed was one shot. And you believed that you were going to get that shot. It was just a delusion until it happened. And now you've been working with me for 7 months. Now we're taking this business to the next level. Now, matter of fact, it's a real business. It's making money. We're profitable.
Yeah.
It's a profitable business. Who would have thought? I didn't come into social media to make money. I came into social media to influence the world and help others. With that, loving that, now it turned into a business. Because I thought making videos was enough for people. But then they said they want to be mentored. And they want to be guided, but they need me. So I opened up coaching. Did I knew that was going to happen? No. I never thought I was going to be a mentor. I wanted to make videos and be done with it. And now we have a profitable business. We're coaching people all over the world. We're taking people from zero to hero. And who would have thought? I thought I was just going on there to help others understand my ways, my views, and maybe help them do better in life just through my videos. And now we've created a family, we've created teams. There's so much value in what we do.
Right.
People message us daily how much we changed their lives. how much more value does that have than even making money?
All of it. All of it. Now, I want to ask you something about the coaching because you brought it up. Most people are too arrogant to actually get somebody that's in the place that they want to get somebody like that to actually guide them there. They're too arrogant to do that. What do you think is the destiny of these people? Where are they going with it?
Same destiny as my dad. My dad is exactly like that. He doesn't like asking others for help, and he won't pay for anybody's help. But for some reason, he'll start a business and fail and lose a shit ton of money, then go and work, save up money, again start a business and fail. Because he's too arrogant. And he thinks he knows it all. And now he's 65 years old. I would say he's worth maybe $1 million. Maybe a little bit more. Me, on the other hand, when someone speaks, I shut up. It could be a 12-year-old. I listen. Maybe he heard something that I haven't. We're all a bunch of sponges. We take in information. When someone speaks, I listen. If it's too much nonsense, then I just move away. But if it makes sense, I continue to listen. My ears are always open. My eyes are always open to the world. So when people look at me and say, well, I could hire him as a mentor, but maybe I could do it on my own, they have to remember, they might not do it on their own, but 100% I could guarantee you is that if they did hire me, I would save them probably 20 to 30 years. And that's worth everything. Why go through all the trial and error to try to become successful, to most likely fail? 90% of businesses fail the first year and shut down. So why go through that if you could just pay somebody and he'll get you there? He'll tell you exactly how to do it. Those people that are arrogant, those people that know it all, that's fine. Know it all, that's fine. You'll get to your deathbed and wish you hired a coach. Because back in the days, it wasn't easy to hire a coach. Now it is. And there's different coaches for different businesses.
Right?
If you want to get the perfect body, you can come to me. You want to get the best mindset, you come to me. You want to start up a business, any business, you come to me. You want to do a service business, you come to me. You want to invest in real estate, you can come to me. You want to learn crypto, you can come to me. Why? Because I spent hours and hours and hours doing it, learning it, investing in it, trial and error, win some, lose some, got to the best of it, and where I'm at, I could get you there much quicker. So there's so many things that I know that I could just hand to you, just like I did to some of my buddies, and they're making a ton of money. They're doing extremely well for themselves. I'll be honest with you, some of them are a bunch of dummies, but they just understand the formula. Right? Most people don't know how to do real estate. But let's say I told you right now, if you want to build a brand new home that is a $7 million home, all you need is $500,000. Most people will say, well, there's no way. How do I build a $7 million home with $500,000?
Did you come for money?
Well, you know the answer, but okay, for the people at home. No, actually, not at all. You know, my grandparents didn't have money, my parents didn't have money. But I said, if I didn't come from a rich family must come from me.
That's tough.
And I knew one thing. If I wasn't going to do this, my kids would have to do it. They would have to go through the battle. And I'm not saying I'll give my kids everything. I'll definitely teach them what they need in order to have money. But the biggest thing is that I didn't want them to suffer the way that I did. You know what's the difference between a wise man and a smart man?
What's the difference?
The difference is that a smart man doesn't enter the corners and the problems that a wise man knows how to get out of. I want and I hope that my kids will hear my story and won't do what I did to become as wise as I did. So to not be in the places that I was, but still be strong men and also strong women. For example, a lot of women want to be independent. It's very sad to me. If I have a daughter one day, I want her to be a strong woman. Independent means one. There's no room for another one.
Right.
It's not a relationship. It's not a family. It's you on your own. I want a strong woman that picks a strong man. Not a weak man so she could just wiggle him around and toss him. No. Today, men also have this fetish for women picking them up. What's up with that? It's like the most viewed bullshit on porn sites.
I haven't been there for a while.
Yeah. I keep people out of porn, especially men. Don't watch porn. But, you know, it's sad that men have stepped down from the throne. Who's going to build the rest of the world? But that's also why you have such billionaires, because they're taking the money from all the losers.
Right.
How is there a man that almost has $300 billion? One man. How are there so many billionaires? And self-made. Also self-taught. Because so many losers out there. And they're just taking their money. It's so easy. They're running them over. So I didn't come from money. And I got to tell you, it was a tough road. It was lonely, it was sad, it was empty. But one thing I always knew. When it's just me, myself, and I know one thing is that I could count on them. I have somebody to count on. I don't need other people. If I have other people in my life, it's because I love them. Not because I need them. I could be a lonely wolf. I'm completely fine with that. As a matter of fact, I think the best part of my life was becoming homeless.
Why is that?
That's when I found myself. If you're hanging out with yourself, nobody wants to hang out with you when you're homeless.
Right.
Nobody wants to be your friend.
When's the last time you hung out with a homeless guy? Never.
I'll talk to them because I was once there. You know, but most of them are druggies. I wasn't. I was taking showers at 24 Hour Fitness, getting ready, still doing my workout in the morning. It was fine. But I found myself. I found the power that I have. We have fears. Well, I had no fear sleeping on the street. So I also have no fear doing a deal and I might lose everything. Okay, so I fall. How far is the ground from me? A few feet. You fall, get back up. You fall, get back up. You're still on top of the world because you're not 6 feet under. You're standing on top of the world. Maybe not at the highest peak, but you're on top of the world. I think rich is a mindset and poor is a disease. Every champion, every rich man was a rich man and a champion before they were a rich man and a champion. You are a billionaire if you believe you're a billionaire. You're just waiting for the code. You lost the code. You're looking for the code. There's a few digits that you're missing. That's to unlock that account that has the $1 billion that is yours. But you have to believe it. Believe you're a billionaire. Act like one. People will treat you like one. You will become one.
So for all of these people, and we get a lot of people like that, and majority of people are like that who don't come from money, what advice would you give them to actually go ahead, build generational wealth, create these things, be that rich guy that takes care of the family, be that man? What do you recommend for them?
One strong trait that men used to have that they don't have anymore. When you go get hired for a job, even if they ask you if you could do something that you can't, tell them that you can. Learn how to do it later. First get hired. Be the best employee that they have. You'll get up to management pretty quick. But if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So if I wanted to have a construction company and I would start as an employee, I would start most likely at the bottom. I would start as a worker on the field. First, probably doing demolition, driving the truck to the landfill. I learned that. I know the route. I know how to drive the truck. I know how to demo. Perfect. Start working with the plumbers, with the roofers. A little bit of the job. Be on the job site. Then become a superintendent. Then you know how to communicate with people. You have good communication skills. Go into the sales part of it. Learn the sales. Then start working a little bit also in the office. Ask to work a little bit in the office. They love you, you're doing good, they'll put you a little bit in the office. Tell them, give me half a day on the field, half a day in the office. Learn the office. And you don't have to learn every skill. You know, back in the day, Henry Ford, they laughed at him and they put him all over the news and made some articles about him being an idiot. So he sued them. He sued the news. And when they put him on the stand and they try to laugh at him and show that he is an idiot, he says, you guys don't understand. I don't need to know it all. All I need to know is how to delegate people. But in my office, right under my desk, I have a button. And that button, all I have to do is press it, and I have every answer that I need. They looked at him shocked when he said that. He said, you guys are the dummies. And he won the lawsuit after they tried to shame him all over the world for being a stupid guy. You don't need to know everything in the office. Go into the office and just figure out what there is. Oh, there's an accountant. She does the accounting. Oh, there's production. They do the production. Oh, there's telemarketing, marketing, advertisement, management. Great. When you open up your own construction business, now you know what facets of the business there is, what you need, and who you need to hire. Now you understand the field, you understand sales, you know a little bit about the office. You're going to hire somebody to do the management anyways. You're going to hire somebody for accounting. You're going to hire somebody for production. But without being there, you wouldn't know that these jobs even exist. But now you know, now you can hire. And that's how you win in business. But if you don't know any of this, and let's say you inherited some money, and now you want to go open up the business, you don't know any of this, you're just going to lose your money.
Right.
So get on the field.
Yeah. And some people are too arrogant to actually do that. They're so entitled, thinking, I'll become a millionaire just by being a business owner. Sure. Not learning the sales, not driving the truck, not doing the office job, not doing any of these, thinking something would just fall out of the sky. They'll have $1 million business. They don't need to know anything. It will just happen like this.
That's why there's so many people out there today that are losing. They're losing. More than 90% of the businesses that are open now in the United States close in the first year. Whoa, you opened a business. Great, dummy. You know nothing. And now you lost it. That's why it's good to hire a mentor that's in your field. If somebody's in your field, hire him. Don't be afraid of money. Take loans. When you put your money in the bank, they give you interest. They're using your money, they're lending it out. So if they're willing to give you money, give you credit cards, use their money too. So what if you're paying interest? Take all the loans that you can, but put that money in the right place.
How do you figure out what's the right place for these things?
Sure, you know nothing about construction? Don't go into construction. What do you want to do? You want to do marketing?
Yeah, sure.
Amazing. How many marketing courses are there?
Millions.
Millions. Just look at some of the top ones. Check out their reviews. They have a lot of good reviews. People love them. People vouch for them. Hire them. I'm sure that every coach out there, you can learn something from them. That's it. And do your research. Do your research. Do your homework. Stop believing you know it all. The man who knows it all is the dumbest person out there.
Right.
You can never stop learning.
Talking about learning, you haven't went to college.
Not
Do you
even
think-
school.
Do you think college is necessary? It's a big, big debate nowadays.
Schools and colleges and universities were created to create employees. They weren't created to build businesses, entrepreneurs. But you'll tell me now, but there's business majors. You can go get your MBA. Aha. Who are you learning from?
Professors that never had a business in their life.
If everything was in the books, we wouldn't have teachers. Right?
Yeah.
Think about it. Why do we have dumb teachers who are making $50K a year? I make that per day. Why would they work and also work in summertime, extra hours to make $50K? That the government takes a big part of it because they're on a W-2. They're employees of the system. School will not benefit you for the things you truly need. All these employees, they're overweight. You're trading your health for wealth, but not even getting wealth. Do you know what's the expected lifespan of a human today?
I'd say 75.
70 to 73. It used to be 73 to 78. Now it's 70 to 73. What age do you retire?
If I'm Ben Azulai, then
Nah.
it's 24.
King Azulai. Ben has died.
Oh.
I rebirthed myself. In order for the king to come to life, Ben must die. In order for the new you to be born, the old you must die. I had to kill Ben. Ben didn't want to be on social media. Ben didn't want everybody to know him. Ben didn't want to have everybody in his business. Ben didn't want that. But Ben was Ben, helping some people here, some people there, giving money to charity. But he didn't go out there to save the world. King Azulai is going out there to save the world. Big difference. And I don't care if I die right now, because I'm dying fulfilling my purpose. That's why. But people usually retire at 65. To what? Live 5 years? You work 40 to 45 years at a job, hating it day and night, so you could retire and live 5 years
And you can't even enjoy it. You can't
without
even move.
enjoying it.
Crazy. Crazy.
The numbers just don't add up. People are tippy-toeing through life to make it safely to death. Let's have a safe game. It's very safe to have a job that pays you the same money every single month and every single year. You're playing it safe so you can make it to death safely. What kind of game is that? That's not the kind of game I like to play. I like to play on the edge. I like the waking up in the morning and not knowing what God has in store for me. But that's why we have faith, right? Because if we knew what tomorrow brings us, you wouldn't need faith. But now that you don't know, you need faith. In God I trust because I know He exists. So when I speak to Him, He gives me answers. He told me, you got to go save the world. I must go. The world needs me. Think I'm going to sit around, drink margaritas, flying all over the world while other people are suffering? That's just not what I'm made out of. I did it for some years, but once you hit the age of 30, you understand that there's bigger things to life. When I hit 32, God spoke to me. He said, okay, retirement is over. I need you to go back in there. I need you to guide them. And then He told me one more thing. That this is going to shock the world. He said, I don't want to tell you, but the Messiah is here. I asked him, what Messiah? He said, the Messiah that everybody speaks about. He asked me, do you know how old the world is? I told him, billions of years, they say. He said, it's about 6,000 years. I asked him about, don't you know the answer? And he said, 5,874 years. The Messiah will arrive by the time it will be 6,000 years, or your world will explode. The Messiah is here and wants to reveal Himself. I need you. And then He gave me some calculation that I never looked up. He said Adam and Eve were the first humans. He said 2,000 years later, I gave you guys Abraham. He said 2,000 years after that, I gave you guys Yoshua. And that was 2,000 years ago. $6,000 years. And tears came to my eyes as He was speaking to me like I'm the Messiah. It was a crazy moment. I have tears in my eyes just thinking about it. And people might think you're crazy. But no, not me. It's people that are crazy. I'm just a normal one. I see and I connect to a different realm. Then all of a sudden people start messaging me that I am the Messiah. And Christians write to me that I'm the Jesus Christ, Yoshua of this time. I was shocked that people wrote this to me. I said, what did they see in me that I don't even see? I don't even see it. And then you know what? It felt exactly the same way like the story about Joseph. When God went to Joseph and told him that he was going to become a king, He never told him the path he'll go on. He just told him there's a mission to go become the king. But if he were to tell him that he would be enslaved, put in jail, beat, most likely wouldn't want to go become a king. He didn't tell him what was going to happen in the process. So he just went and he was sure that he's going to become a king because God told him. When God told me go save the world, they closed my accounts in the middle. After that, no views, no likes. After I got him back, and I paid a shit ton of money to get him back. No views, no likes, so much hate from the world, death threats, and I kept going.
Who are they?
They are they. At the end of the day, I kept going. I kept going. I kept growing. And I didn't see any movement for months. And I'm putting money and money and money into making videos and videographers and podcasts and flying places, you name it. And money is just being pulled out nonstop. But I didn't stop. I knew that he spoke to me. And at some point in time, that's going to happen. I'm going to save the world one way or another. So when you have a mission and you have a purpose, there's nothing that could stop me. Because I'm on a mission to save the world. It's way greater than any money you could ever put in my hands. But to also save the world, I need money to do it. How can I save them without money? People say money doesn't buy happiness. You don't know where to shop. When you feed kids, when you help families, you don't understand how much happiness it can bring you.
Right.
Now imagine I help a whole society, a whole generation. And they'll speak about me and say, you know what, King Azulai, he saved the world, he changed the world. So when I die, I stay there in history. That's completely fine with me.
So one of the last questions I have, I'm 22 now. Let's say I want to retire by 27, 5 years. Retire, of course. I'll keep working, I'll keep doing my stuff, but I want to get to the point where I'm so financially free, where I can actually sit down, kick back, relax, be retired. What are the steps you would take in order to get to that?
The easiest way to retire is having money coming in without you working. But in order for you to retire, you're going to have money in order to invest it. So for the next 5 years, I would work 24/7. 24/7. Whatever it is you do. You do marketing 24/7. Live, breathe, eat marketing. Learn everything about marketing. Let's say it's you. You're opening up your own marketing company. You're doing marketing for big people. You have the right management. You no longer need to be there. How much money do you think somebody needs in order to retire? Forget the fact that I exited and took millions, and then I retired. And then I invested, and then money was coming in. I had passive income coming in all the time. But let me share with you one thing. Don't ever retire. Don't ever think of retiring. Think how to make some great shit in the world. Think how you could solve other people's problems. People pay a lot of money when you solve their problems. DoorDash, Uber Eats solved your problem. All the fat people, it solved their problem. They don't want to go get food. Solve their problem, everybody's using it. Billions of dollars. Waze solved your problem. You don't need Google Maps. Why? Because Waze tells you if there's an accident or no accident, where there's traffic, where there's less traffic. Solved your problem, billions of dollars. Any way that you could solve other people's problems, you will make so much money. That's the best way to retire, is to just think, how do I solve other people's problems?
How do I find a problem to solve?
You have to be perspicacious. You have to open your eyes. Most people go to Starbucks just to buy coffee. Nobody goes in there and thinks, how much is the rent? How many people walk in here every hour? How much does it cost to make the coffee? How much does it cost to acquire a customer? How much does it cost to keep a customer? Nobody thinks about that. They just go there to get a coffee and say, I have Starbucks, I'm cool. Starbucks logo, I'm cool. I'm drinking Starbucks. I'm in. I have an Apple product. I'm in, I'm cool. That's all. When you start looking at things on a business perspective, all of a sudden, all these great ideas come to you. But if you're being distracted, you're not going to come up with ideas. That's why I say, leave distractions behind. You'll start coming up with some amazing shit. I told you, we're very creative. Men have created everything. The man who invented the light bulb took him 1,001 times before the first one worked. Thomas Edison. There was no light before that. Imagine what he went through to come up with this. Today you have everything. You can learn everything online.
Yet people manage to fail.
Yeah. Think about the guy who thought about creating a phone with a camera that I could speak live to people all around the world and they could see me. Matter of fact, there's something that most people don't know. They don't understand how we are connected. But there is electricity wires that are running all the way from one continent to another in the ocean. Huge wires that are put in the ocean from one continent to another. That's how we connect our electricity. It connects that way. So most people don't even know that. They think it's just Wi-Fi, satellite. It's not. We're all connected. But who thought about this, right? Imagine that many years ago, and I want you guys to imagine this. We were giving the world. There were animals, there were plants, there was dirt, there was water, there's air. From these 5 things, how do we make colors? How do we make metal? How do we build the light bulb? How do we make the screen? How do we make cars? Our mind is extremely beautiful when it's not distracted. Everything that was invented was before this bullshit. Don't be distracted. You'll invent some shit too. But when you're distracted, you're blinded. People ask me, why do you like to be alone? I'm not alone. I have God right next to me. And if I got God by my side, there's nothing I can't do. But you have to truly believe in yourself. And also truly know that God exists.
So everything comes from not having distractions, right? You start by not having distractions, you figure out that God exists. Then you spend some time in solitude so the ideas come to you. And you can actually think about these things.
Yeah.
So after you have an idea, how do I act on it?
Once you have an idea, I'll tell you what I did. I had an idea. I started talking to people. I started figuring out how exactly I could make it. Then I talked to a guy who introduced me to another guy, who introduced me to another guy, who introduced me to a guy in China, Israeli guy, who connected me to manufacturers, who then found a manufacturer that could create the mold. Then he made a mold for the product. Then we made the product. Then I had a prototype. After I had a prototype, and again, I invested money into it, I didn't know if it was going to do anything or not. if I was going to make money or not. I just believed that it was going to work. I said, oh my God, something is here. I have an idea. Let's bring it to life. Then we made the product. Once I made the product, then I made the patents. After I made the patents, I went and started showing it to people. Slowly, but surely, it worked. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It was once an idea.
Right.
But people believed in it so much that now look at it.
You have to be delusional.
And you have to believe the delusion.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful.
More gold was mined from the mines of men than from the whole earth put together. Our mind has gold. People just don't believe it. Look at me, I'm talking to you, I look crazy. But I'm not, I just believe so much. And I made shit happen. You know how many times in the beginning of this year, my wife told me, how do you do this? How do you do this? How are you so determined to wake up in the morning and keep posting while your shit is being shadow banned? You get no views, no likes, everything went down. After they bring back your account, it's almost like a new account. It said 200,000 followers, but it was dying. How do you wake up in the morning and keep going? How do you stay motivated? It's because it's not motivation anymore. It just becomes a way of life. You wake up in the morning, you solve a few problems, and you keep moving. It doesn't work? Keep working. Eventually it will. You could only be a loser for so many times before you become a winner. 1 time, 2 times, 10 times. Thomas Edison, 1,001 times.
Some people wouldn't even take one loss.
That's fine. Those people are losers. They could sit on their ass, do nothing. That's fine. And they think I feel bad for them. I don't when I call them losers. They don't feel bad for themselves. Why the fuck would I feel bad for them? Do I feel bad for myself that I have to wake up every single morning at 3 a.m. after having 4 or 5 hours of sleep, getting in the ice? No. I put my body through pain. I suffer every single day. But I do it like I love it. That's the beauty about it. Calm mind could do it all. But that's why you don't see me all day like this. Oh my God. Look at all these girls that wrote to me on Instagram. Oh my God. Look at this video. Look at that video. No, that's not me. Fuck this. Let me connect to people. If I wasn't on social media, I wouldn't even be looking on my phone. There's no reason for me to look at my phone. The only reason I look at my phone nowadays is just because I coach people. And I want them to do better. And I want to help them. That's why I look at my phone. Other than that, I don't touch my phone. It doesn't matter to me. It does not exist. Matter of fact, it's evil to me. The portal to hell. I've said it before. I'll say it a million more times. And the problem is that it became a disposable society. Everything is disposable. This people replace every year. This people replace every 2 to 3 years. Their cars, leases every 2 years, every 3 years. We live in a disposable society. That's why people date. What the fuck is dating? 1, 2 months, 3 months, that's it. There's a problem at home, we're separating. My grandma didn't leave my grandpa until he was buried. And then she got buried next to him. And he was the toughest man on the planet. The toughest man. He used to take me in the middle of the ocean, drown me so I could learn how to swim. He would beat me. He would tie me and then beat me. He would tie my dad and beat my dad before I was ever born. Crazy guy. Everybody in town was afraid of him. My grandma never left him. And by the way, he slept with the whole town. The whole town. The whole town. He slept with everybody. She never left him. But today we live in a disposable society. Nobody's worthwhile. That's why we have dating. What is dating? A man doesn't want to take responsibility. A woman doesn't want to take responsibility. Back in the day, how did it work? Your father is your father and he hands you down to the men. Now that man is supposed to be responsible for you and protect you. That's your new father, baby. That's your new father. People say, how can you say that? Because a woman loves a man like he's her dad. A man loves a woman like she's his daughter. A woman loves a man like that's her father. She has to look up to him. That changed. A woman wants to be equal to the man. That's why she can't even love the man. Because she wants equal. Equal, so she's not looking up to the man. People say, well, can you explain that better? I said, well, let me tell you. When a woman goes to dinner with her girlfriends, who pays? Who pays?
Everybody.
Each person pays for their own food, right?
Right.
When a woman goes with her parents for dinner, who pays?
The parents.
When a woman goes with the man on a date, who pays?
The man.
Why?
That's socially acceptable.
No, it's because he's like a parent. That's why. And she knows that. But then she wants equality. I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm this, I'm that. Matter of fact, I'm better than you. Give you another way of looking at it. If right now a robber comes in the house and it's me and my wife, who goes to fight the robber, me or my wife?
You.
Me. I put my life on the line for her to save her, right?
Yep.
Okay. If we are in the house and then I leave the house and my wife is there with the kids and then a robber comes, who fights off the robber? My wife or the kids?
The wife.
The wife will take a bullet for the kids, right?
Yep.
A man will take a bullet for the woman because she's like his child. A woman will only take a bullet for one thing, one person only, and it's her child. And I could give you a million different scenarios. The world has become weak. The world and society became a disposable society. And that must change.
That's what we're here for.
And it will only change when we teach them how to connect.
Right.
Soul to soul. It's a big difference between someone touching your body or someone touching your soul. Different love. Different love. Did I answer all your questions today, Ty?
It did, and I do have one last question for all of the people who are watching us today, and they're sitting right at the edge of taking action with our coaching program, with walking with you, with opening that business, with talking to that woman. What do you have to say to these people who are always at the edge but never over it?
Well, it mostly comes out of fear. It comes to them out of fear, and I understand them. Because obviously every single person who hired me as a coach feared. It took him a while before he reached out. Or it took her a while before she reached out. But after they went over that hump of fear, look at them now. Look how happy they are. People have fear because they're afraid to lose money. That's their fear. But as I explained in many of my videos, before we came to this lifetime, we came here with nothing. And when we leave this lifetime, we're leaving with nothing. Which means in this lifetime, we don't gain anything and we don't lose anything. No matter how much money we've made, how many billions we have, we will leave with nothing. And we also came here with nothing. So the problem is that they're giving too much value to money. And that's also the biggest reason why they don't have so much of it. Some people work for money. I don't. And when I teach you not to work for money, you understand the true meaning of life and true meaning of success. So if they understand that they could not lose anything, because remember, it's not even ours, they will take the step forward and they will work with us. And after they will, when they come out on the other side, they will be just as happy as the rest of the guys.
Absolutely.
We don't have one student that leaves and he's not happy. He doesn't feel like he finally found his purpose. Didn't get what he truly wanted to get out of this. All of them can't even believe how much time I'm spending with them. They're telling me your time is so valuable. Why do you even spend so much time with us? It's because I love them. I love the fact that they want to change and they want to become better. So if someone wants to become better, I'm there to help them. And if they don't want to become better, that's fine. Don't reach out. I don't care. It's your life. End it the way you like. But when they'll get to their deathbed, which sucks, they'll have all these ideas that they had. They're all going to fly around them. The ideas, the dreams, the wishes. But then they're just going to die empty. When you get handed to you the bill of regret right before you die, that's the largest bill you're ever going to pay. Because you paid for it with your life. And your life will end at some point in time. But I know one thing. As fast as life is flying by, mine is flying first class. I don't care what people think about me. All I care about is the impact that I'm putting on the world every single day. And I'm sure that a lot of people that are watching this, they want to create an impact to the world. They want to help the world. There's a lot of good people out there. And that's who I'm here for, is the good ones. How many times people reached out and didn't have money to even join the program, but I gave them guidance. Some people, I got on a call with them. They were telling me they were suicidal. I just got on a call with them. FaceTime call. They didn't commit suicide. I helped them. When people reach out, you must help them. You must do something to help them. At least that's what God told me. Just like if someone says sorry, you must forgive them. If they had the ability to put their ego down and come and say sorry, you must accept their apology. You can't just walk away. That's not what God wants. Be human before anything else. Be human. People are afraid of immortality. Be human. It's fine to feel. It's fine to smile at the world. It doesn't hurt to make someone smile. And it doesn't hurt to take half an hour, 2 hours of your day to save a life. And I'm so happy that I became as influential as I am today and as famous as I am today to be able to take a call with somebody and save his life because I told him he could do better. That's the best part of what I'm doing. Is that for some reason, I'm so influential to them because I'm so-called famous, celebrity bullshit. Just a man. I love these people. But if I can make that influence on them, just with one call, that's the best feeling in the world.
I also want to add, I've been on thousands of sales calls, interactions. I've been on the back end of the world of self-improvement. And if there's one sentence, one message I could actually give to everybody who's watching here right now, if your goals and actions don't scare you, you're actually a coward. Fear would always exist, right?
Yeah.
And unlocking that fear, everything that they ever wanted lies behind it. It's been such a pleasure to ask you all of these questions, get these beautiful answers. Such a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you so much, my brother.
You're welcome, brother. I'm happy to have you on the team. You've been great.
All right.
You've really been great.
All right, then.
And I hope they enjoy this because honestly, they don't know you well enough. And maybe I've known you for a short time, I would say, 7 months. But you're definitely one of the most determined people I've ever met.
Yeah.
Very surprised by your age. Very. And people definitely need to understand that guys like you, they just don't come around anymore. It's very hard to come by. So I appreciate having you on the team.
Thank you so much.
And it's a pleasure, and I know we're going big places.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
On the next episode.
Yes. The next episode will come soon. Later, guys.